Do you know what separates the weak from the strong? It's not muscles, it's not money, it's not even intelligence. The real strength, the kind that makes you unshakable, comes from the mind. And today, I'll tell you a story about a girl who discovered the secret to becoming mentally strong, deep inside the flowing heart of a river. The sky was painted with shades of gold and crimson as the sun dipped low, casting its reflection upon a mighty river that cut through mountains and forests. Its waters flowed endlessly, sometimes gentle, sometimes violent, yet always forward. By the banks of this river lived a young girl named Amira. She was curious, fiery, and restless, but inside, her heart carried weight, fear, doubt, and the constant question, why do I feel so weak? She watched others walk confidently through life while she hesitated at every step. She wanted strength, but not the kind you could see in muscles or hear in loud voices. She longed for a strength that could not be broken, no matter what storms came her way. And so one evening, Amira sought the wisdom of a sage who lived by the river, a man who was said to have learned the language of water itself. Amira approached the sage, who sat cross-legged on a smooth stone, his eyes closed, listening to the sound of rushing currents. "Master," she said softly, bowing her head, "I have come to learn how to become strong, not in body, but in mind. People say you know the secrets hidden in this river." The sage opened his eyes, calm yet piercing. He studied her for a long moment before speaking. "Young one," he said, his voice steady as the current, "strength is not found in fighting battles outside. Strength is forged in the battles within. If you wish to know the secret to unshakable strength, follow me." Without another word, he rose and began walking toward the river. Amira hesitated. The waters roared, dark and endless, but something inside her whispered, "This is the moment." She stepped forward. The sage led her into the river until the water reached their waists. The current pulled hard, testing their balance. Amira gasped as her feet slipped on the stones beneath. "Master," she cried, "the river is too strong." The sage did not answer. Instead, he stepped deeper until the water reached his chest. Reluctantly, Amira followed. The current tugged at her body, threatening to sweep her away. Fear clenched her chest. "Listen to the river," the sage finally said. "It is teaching you." Amira strained her ears. At first, she heard only chaos, the roar of water crashing against rocks, the swirl of currents pulling in every direction. But as she focused, she began to hear patterns, the rhythm of flow, the rise and fall, the calm beneath the surface. "Do you hear it?" asked the sage. "Yes," she whispered. "It's alive." The sage smiled faintly. "And what does it teach you?" Amira looked down at the rushing waters. "It never stops. No matter how many rocks stand in its way, it keeps flowing." "Exactly," the sage said. "Mental strength is like this river. Obstacles will come, pain, loss, doubt, but the strong do not break. They flow around obstacles, over them, through them. They adapt. They keep moving forward." The sage then suddenly pushed Amira beneath the water. She panicked. Her arms flailed. Her lungs screamed for air. She wanted to rise, to fight, but the current pressed down on her. Just when she thought she would drown, the sage pulled her up. She coughed and gasped for breath, her eyes wide with fear and anger. "Why did you do that? I thought I was going to die." The sage looked at her calmly. "Tell me, what was in your mind when you were under?" Amira trembled. "Only fear. I could think of nothing else." "And that," the sage said, "is weakness. The weak are controlled by fear. The strong control their mind even in fear. If you wish to be unshakable, You must learn to breathe within the chaos. He guided her back into the river, this time asking her to close her eyes. Feel the current, he instructed. Let it rush against you. Do not resist, do not resist. Simply stand, still and rooted. Amira closed her eyes, her heart pounding. The water pushed at her, almost knocking her down. Instinct screamed to resist, to fight against the current. But she remembered his words. Slowly, she loosened her grip on fear. She let the water rush past. She bent her knees, balanced her body, and instead of resisting, she flowed with it. Suddenly, she felt a strange calm. The river was no longer her enemy. It was her teacher. The sage's voice came like thunder. This is the secret. The strong do not waste their energy fighting what they cannot control. They bend, they adapt, they flow. That is unshakable strength. The sage then pointed toward the far side of the river, where a cave yawned like the mouth of a beast. If you want to claim your strength, you must enter the darkness. Inside that cave lies the test of your mind. Her heart froze. The cave looked endless, its shadows swallowing the light. But she nodded. Her legs shook, but she walked toward it. The cave was cold and damp, the air heavy with silence. She lit a small torch and walked deeper. The walls seemed to close in. Fear whispered, "Turn back. You're not strong enough. You'll fail." Her steps faltered. She remembered the river's lesson, flow, don't resist. She took a deep breath and kept moving. At last, she reached the center of the cave where a still water reflected her trembling face. And there, she heard a voice, not from the sage, not from outside, but from within herself. Your greatest enemy is not the world. It is the voice in your head that tells you to quit. Tears filled her eyes. She understood. Strength was never about muscles or battles outside. It was about mastering the storms inside. When Amira returned from the cave, the sage was waiting by the river. Her eyes glowed with something new, calm, steady, powerful. "I understand now," she said. "Strength is not never feeling fear. It is walking forward even when fear is loud. It is not controlling the river. It is learning to flow with it. It is not defeating the darkness. It is carrying light within it." The sage nodded, satisfied. "Then you are ready. Remember, child, the world will try to shake you. People will doubt you. Life will throw storms. But the unshakable are those who master their mind. Become like the river, adapt, endure, and keep flowing forward." Amira grew into a woman known for her calmness, her wisdom, her strength. When others broke under pressure, she stood firm. When storms came, she flowed with grace. And when people asked her how she became so unshakable, she only smiled and pointed to the river. And now, dear listener, the question comes to you. When life pushes you, will you resist and break, or will you flow like the river? Will you let fear drown you, or will you master your mind and breathe through the chaos? The secret to becoming mentally strong is not outside, it's within you. Be still when storms come, adapt when obstacles rise, flow forward no matter what. Because the strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who rise again and again, unshakable like the river. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs strength today. Subscribe to Life Lessons Library for more stories that transform your mind and soul. Comment below, what river are you standing in right now? And don't forget, your one like, your one share, your one subscription keeps these stories alive, inspiring millions around the world.